Monarch is not just a national event, it is a moment of global attention. When Queen Elizabeth II passed away in 2022, after 70 years on the throne, the world paused to watch Britain mourn and transition to a new king. Leaders and dignitaries from across the globe gathered in London for what became one of the largest diplomatic gatherings in recent history. Approximately 500 foreign dignitaries, including dozens of sitting heads of state, arrived to pay their respects. Among the most notable were US President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden, who joined other world leaders such as French President Emmanuel Macron, German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, Italian President Sergio Mattarella, and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Also in attendance were leaders from the Commonwealth nations, including Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, underscoring the Queen's long-standing role as head of the Commonwealth. European royalty gathered as well, with King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia of Spain, King Willem Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, King Carl XVI, Gustav and Queen Sylvia of Sweden, and even Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako of Japan. While King Charles was only crowned in 2023, planning for his eventual death began long before. Known as Operation Menai Bridge, the detailed plans behind what happens after Charles's death are based on centuries of royal tradition and modern logistical coordination. Our video will walk you through what is expected: the immediate protocols, the national mourning period, funeral details, the financial costs, and the transition of power to the next king, Prince William. Every monarch has a secret plan for their passing. For Queen Elizabeth II, it was Operation London Bridge. For King Charles III, it is Operation Menai Bridge, named after the historic suspension bridge in Wales. This name is not random. Charles was the longest-serving Prince of Wales before becoming king, and Wales holds deep symbolic significance for him. Behind the scenes, palace officials, government leaders, and military planners have been preparing for years. When King Charles III dies, Buckingham Palace will first notify key officials. The Prime Minister, senior government leaders, and royal household members will be informed. Next, the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office will notify countries where Charles is the head of state, such as Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, as well as the 56-nation Commonwealth, where Charles has a symbolic role. Once official channels have been informed, Buckingham Palace will issue a public statement. News will break across the BBC, international outlets, and social media platforms, while a formal notice is posted on the gates of Buckingham Palace. This moment will instantly become global news. Upon the King's death, the Union Jack, flags across the UK, will be lowered to half-mast. This will happen not just at Buckingham Palace, but at government buildings in Whitehall, at Windsor Castle, and across the kingdom. Parliamentary activities in England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland will be suspended. Businesses, especially those with close ties to the royal family, may close or reduce operations. A period of national mourning will begin. This is a formal, organised phase in which the nation collectively grieves the loss of its monarch. Buckingham Palace will become a central point where the public lays flowers and pays tribute. During Queen Elizabeth's death, thousands gathered outside the gates, and it is expected that similar, if not larger, crowds will come for King Charles. A key moment in the mourning process will be when King Charles's coffin is moved to Westminster Hall to lie in state. Here, the public will have the chance to pay their respects. When Queen Elizabeth II lay in state, around 250,000 people waited in long lines, some for more than 12 hours, to walk past her coffin. For King Charles, it will be interesting to see how many turn out, as Queen Elizabeth will was internationally the face of the monarchy, far better known and admired than any other royal family member, with an iconic image and often greater popularity abroad than her children or grandchildren. The lying in state usually lasts several days, and the mood is marked by solemnity, respect, and quiet reflection. Security will be tight, with police, military personnel, and royal guards overseeing the site. The funeral is expected to take place approximately 10 days after King Charles's death. Given past royal funerals, it will likely be held at Westminster Abbey, the historic church where Charles himself was crowned. The funeral will be attended by members of the royal family, political leaders, religious figures, and international dignitaries. Leaders from across the world, including presidents, prime ministers, and monarchs, will converge on London for the event. The financial cost is significant. The UK Treasury disclosed that Queen Elizabeth's funeral and related events cost the government around £160 million, approximately $200 million. Even if Charles chooses a simpler service, the overall cost will still likely run into the tens of millions due to security, logistics, and ceremonial expenses. After the funeral, the King's coffin will be taken in a ceremonial procession from London to Windsor Castle, where he will be laid to rest among past monarchs, including his parents, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. This procession will be a deeply symbolic national moment, with military escorts, public crowds, and worldwide media coverage. As soon as King Charles III dies, Prince William automatically becomes the new king, likely to be known as King William V, unless he chooses another regnal name. His first major duty will be to address the nation in a formal broadcast, acknowledging his father's passing and his new role as monarch. Within 24 hours, the Accession Council will meet at St. James's Palace to formally proclaim William as the new sovereign. This ceremonial event, steeped in centuries of tradition, will be followed by William's swearing of loyalty to Parliament and the Church of England, of which he will become the supreme governor. Members of Parliament, in turn, will swear their loyalty to him. Importantly, William's coronation will not happen right away. It will be scheduled for months later, allowing time for mourning, preparation, and planning. The coronation, like those of past monarchs, will likely be held at Westminster Abbey, continuing nearly 1,000 years of tradition. With William's accession, his wife Catherine, Princess of Wales, will become Queen Consort. This is distinct from Queen Regnant, as Queen Elizabeth II was, since the ruling monarch is William. If Camilla, Charles's wife, survives him, she will be known as Queen Dowager, the title typically given to a king's widow. Prince George, William's eldest son, will become the new Prince of Wales, a title traditionally given to the monarch's heir. He will also receive the titles Duke of Cornwall and Duke of Rothesay. George's siblings, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, will also move up in the line of succession, and their official titles may change accordingly. One of the most visible shifts after the death of a monarch is the update of national symbols. British banknotes and coins currently bear Charles's image, but these will eventually be updated to display William's portrait. However, this is not an immediate change. It typically takes years before currency fully transitions. Other symbols like passports, stamps, and mailboxes will also gradually change. Installed during William's reign will bear his royal cipher insignia, although this process will unfold slowly over time. Charles has dedicated his life to royalties and charitable work. His passing will be about whether to remain constitutional crown, but also and manage the intense public scrutiny that comes with the role. And the throne, taking the crown at age 73. His reign has emphasized continuity, environmental stewardship, and careful modern new chapter for the monarchy.